everybody! I'm Salty Sweet Ren, and this little furball here is Simba. He's not gonna be joining me for every video, but he's here now. You can kind of just barely see him. Simba, do you want to say hi to the audience? Hi, little man. You're like, what the heck is going on? I was just cleaning myself. I want to go. Okay. Bye, Simba. Anyways, hello. Salty Sweet Ren here with the first episode of Season 3 of The Legend of Vox Machina! Season 3! Yes, you might be wondering, well, wait a second, why are you watching Season 3? Like, I've just barely come to your channel or whatever, and you haven't, or I've just barely started watching reactions on your channel for whatever reason, and you haven't done Season 1 or 2. I've seen those. I have seen Seasons 1 and 2 of The Legend of Vox Machina. I was there for the Kickstarter when it came out. I was a huge Critical Role fan at the time. Interestingly enough, I have not actually watched the first campaign. I was really huge into the second. Kind of fell off during Bell's Hells, the current ongoing campaign. I want to get caught up. I did watch Downfall, which apparently, I thought it was going to be kind of like the EXU stuff, but apparently it was just part of the main series and like the actual characters were seeing those events happen. But regardless, I'm kind of using Legend of Vox Machina to get a little caught up on the events of Campaign 1. I do know that there's a lot of changes that were made. I know of some of the changes, not all of them, just some. There are some things, sometimes like there'll be a scene that shows up in the show and like somebody will like make a little comparison with what happens in the animated version versus how it actually happened in the actual campaign. Sometimes like there's just clips that are like super popular, so I'll have seen them already, and then like later on it'll show up in the show and it's like, oh well, I actually already know how that's different. Like the stuff with the Briarwoods, I did actually watch through the original Briarwoods arc in Campaign 1. That's about as far as I got, actually. I didn't get much further, but like I remember like being like, oh, so they're actually doing an possessed Orthax fight, that is so awesome, instead of like what the actual scene in the game was pretty badass, loved it, but also fighting possessed Percy, it makes for some great animated TV, you know? There's just something about it that's just, yes. But also like the stuff with Vex and Vax's dad, like, and the whole like, you're gonna have to amend that statement. It's Lady Vexalia. Lady Vexalia, the first house of I forget the exact title, and Grand Baroness of the Great Hunt, or I've completely butchered that. I'm sure. I'm sorry. I at least know Percy's full name. I have Percy's full name memorized, at least. It's Percival Friedrichshain von Jussa Klosowski de Rollo III. I have that memorized. Cannot remember the title he gave Vex off the top of my head, and I'm sorry. But yeah, Legend of Vox Machina. I have been like watching the animated series. I've seen seasons 1 and 2, so if you have not seen those, either go and watch them, go and watch a recap. I know the entirety of Season 1 is now available on YouTube, so if you want to catch up on Season 1 at least, it's available on YouTube for free. Go watch that. Season 2, I'm sure that you can find a way if you don't want to pay for Prime. For Amazon, there is a way probably somewhere, I don't know. But it is available on Amazon Prime, if you have Amazon Prime. Anyways, besides what I've just said though, I have watched very little of Campaign 1. I know like some of the very basics of the story. So I know some stuff that like for newcomers to Vox Machina or Critical Role would be huge spoilers. Like I know who the main overarching enemy is in this campaign. I know of a certain enemy who comes back. Technically, I can think of a few, actually. Actually, yeah. They all come back at some point, don't they? Or, not the dragons, but you know. Maybe the dragons. I don't know that. I know that a certain character gets killed off for real. I'm not saying which character. I know about Keyfish. It's hard to be in the Critical Role fandom and not know about Keyfish. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you're like, what the heck is Keyfish? If you're in Critical Role fandom long enough, you find out about Keyfish. I wonder if they're going to implement Keyfish into the animated series, or how they'll do that. But I'm sure we'll find out. It's too funny to not include. But if you want me to kind of do a little recap of the series so far, Chroma Conclave arc is actually the arc I know the least about. I will say that much. And when it comes to the original campaign, I know the least about the Chroma Conclave arc. I know that it was a huge deal in the history of Exandria. I know that it changes a lot for Tal'Dorei and maybe the world at large, ? I know that Matt had to, like, destroy a huge chunk, or at least some major cities, just to be, like, doing this in the campaign. If you don't know, like, what I'm talking about, like, why are you talking about, like, this show versus, like, something else? Is the space also something? I should have mentioned that at the start. If you don't know what the Legend of Vox Machina is, this is a animated series based on a D&D game called Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons! And at this point, like, if this was the show, you'd hear Travis being like, we play Dungeons & Dragons! Or something along those lines. Might be a little goofy or something, I don't know. Anyways, should I do a brief recap of seasons 1 and 2? Yeah, you know, you can probably skip ahead. I'll have to try and remember the timestamps when I edit. But brief recap of seasons 1 and 2, so spoilers if you haven't seen those seasons. Show starts with a ragtag team of mercenaries called Vox Machina, who are barely capable of working together at the time, are tasked with tracking down and killing some sort of terrible beast that is plaguing the lands. Turns out to be a blue dragon, voiced by none other than David Tennant. They somehow managed to pull themselves together, and they managed to kill the dragon, and are named Heroes of the Realm, and are invited to a huge banquet where, they meet the Briarwoods, the people who murdered Percival's entire family and took his home. And this also leads to the major arc in season 1, where Vox Machina learns about Percy's past with the Briarwoods and his history in Whitestone, and they head on out there to free the city from the Briarwoods' control and their minions and stuff. Percy finds out his sister is alive, and she's dealing with, like, some serious Stockholm syndrome / vampire brainwashing in the campaign. It seems to be a little bit more of the former. In the animated series, it seems to be more of the latter. I don't know. He also runs into another old foe named Anna Ripley, who ends up going free. And I'm mentioning her because I know that she is pretty important later down the line. Don't know the exact details of Campaign 1, but I do know, like, they mention her in Campaign 2 having some sort of impact. Percy is also kinda half-possessed by a demon called Orthax, but he manages to push past that just enough to shoot himself in the hand, which somehow frees him from Orthax's influence, which the remnants go into a gun, which gets thrown into acid. And then the Briarwoods are also killed as well. I forgot to mention that. But it does, like, again, I don't know how shooting himself in the hand frees him from the influence of a demon, but it does make for great television. That's the key. So the Briarwoods are dead. Whitestone is free. Percy has his sister back, and Vox Machina returns to the capital for a huge gathering where the Sovereign makes an announcement that he's stepping down as Sovereign and is handing the rule of Iman and Tal'Dorei over to the Council of Tal'Dorei, which we all wonder who's on the Council of Tal'Dorei. That's always a good question. And then, as he's making the announcement, the dragons come and attack the Chroma Conclave. It's not just one, but 4 ancient dragons. And if you're a D&D player, you know that dragons are no joke to begin with. Ancient dragons, even more terrifying. You'll probably want to be a little bit more high level, or at least have a group of decently leveled people, maybe a group of high level people, to deal with one ancient dragon. This is 4 ancient dragons, and they devastate the city. Like, I'm pretty sure Matt said, like, several thousand people died in the initial attack. I want to say, like, he said, like, 30,000 people died in the initial attack. I know there's an actual number out there somewhere. Don't know what it was off the top of my head. I tried doing a little bit of research, like seeing if I could find the clip, and I couldn't find it, but I'm pretty sure it was like a really huge number. So after that, Vox Machina manages to escape the attack with some refugees so that they bring to Whitestone, and they go off on a quest to find the vestiges of Divergence, which are relics that have the power of the gods from an ancient war between the gods. And these vestiges could hopefully turn the tide against the Chroma Conclave. The first one, what is it called? The Deathwalker's Ward? Or something like that? Either way, Vax'ildan ends up in possession of the Deathwalker's Ward. I'm calling it that until I'm corrected. As a result of a bargain he makes with the Raven Queen, or the Matron of Ravens, because copyright issues, I can't say Raven Queen, on for the life of his sister, who had been killed trying to get it. He makes a bargain and is now has to act as the Matron of Ravens champion. And he literally can't take the armor off either. Scanlan now has a fancy sword that can give him visions of the other vestiges, and it was briefly possessed by a dragon before they managed to get it back. Vex'ahlia has a bow, the name of which I can't remember, but it is a very powerful bow that she had to get off of this creepy fae guy called Sindor. And I know that there were a lot of people who were upset that like the Sindor arc wasn't as in-depth as it was in the original campaign. I don't know much about that. As far as I'm concerned on the show, it did all right, but like apparently people who watched the original campaign were a little upset. They have to condense things down for animation. I get that. And I'm coming into this without knowing much about the original campaign. So I'm kind of just cool with whatever's going on right now. Grog has the Titanstone Knuckles, which are, I think that's what they're called. So now they can make him absolutely huge. I could be wrong about what they're called. I could be wrong about what all the armor and weapons are called. But they are powers of the gods, basically. They also managed to kill one of the dragons, Umbrasyl, the Hope Devourer. And I do love that the dragons all have titles. It's just fun. And that's how Scanlan gets his sword back. And they go to Whitestone to celebrate with their friends, except it turns out that Keeper Yenin was replaced by one of the dragons, Raishan. And she's claiming that she's defected from the Conclave after also apparently knocking out everybody else at the table besides Vox Machina because she wanted a private audience with them. And she seeks to help Vox Machina stop Thordak. And as she's talking about this, we see the camera pan from Thordak talking to, what's his name? Vorugal? The one voiced by Liam O'Brien. And the camera pans down to a clutch of dragon eggs that I think one of them is starting to hatch. And then the season ends there. So with that, I don't exactly know what's going to happen next. At least not immediately. I know Anna Ripley's still a problem. I know that, like, they have to deal with her. We still have 3 dragons to deal with. 2 for now, but the one that's inevitably going to betray us later, I'm sure. There's more vestiges to find, characters to meet. I don't know when in the original campaign Tyrion Darrington came into play. I know that I'm kind of curious, like, if he's going to show up and how they implement him, because isn't he kind of important to the overarching story? I don't know. I just know he exists, and he exists for, like, a reason gameplay-wise. We'll have to find out. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. So, for the audience, no spoilers. I'm not gonna be showing you my entire reaction. Stuff will be cut out. But if you want to watch the whole show, go watch it for yourself. If you want to support the channel, be sure to do all that stuff, like hit the like button, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. The stuff you hear from every YouTuber out there, but also it does help me to like keep the channel running and stuff. If you want to see uncut and unedited reactions earlier than everybody else, head over to my Patreon. I'm going to be putting a link in the description below so you can become a member and get access to the episodes. Or you can also make one-time purchases for the individual reactions as well. So with that all out of the way, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Oh, what are you doing? What's happening? We're just jumping straight into things, apparently. We're not seeing the rest of their conversation with Raishan. Oh, that's the remains of Iman. Why? We've just jumped right here. I mean, don't we need to be a little bit more prepared before we're sneaking into the current lair of a dragon?
Yet my conclave continues to fail.
I'm gonna pause. There's like a way to like see who the actors are, right? Oh, they still have Lance Reddick as Thordak. I'm kind of wonder, like, at some point, are they gonna change voice actor, or have they already changed voice actor and the website just hasn't been up, and they just haven't updated on here? And there's the eggs.
My children soon will be gods.
Oh boy. Okay. Get the hell out of there. You are currently in no position to fight a dragon, especially on your own. Get the hell out. Did this happen in the actual campaign? What made you think this was a good idea? The Legend of Vox Machina, Season 3. Okay. One day earlier. Ah.
On stripping Teldore of its gold, but not to satisfy his greed. For another purpose.
What does gold have to do with eggs? Just making a nest? Oh, the little kid! It's the little kid! Oh. Oh, boy. I mean, Pyra's not completely destroyed. We just know that Thordak escaped through there.
But together. There is no together, bitch!
Keyleth calling someone bitch. Fun. Ooh, boy.
When his brood of eggs in Iman hatches, your world will be bathed in fire.
They have already seen what one fire-based dragon can do.
We got vesticles.
Vestiges.
Vesticles. I love Grog's little Grogisms.
Tote. It resides in Ankarel.
Ankarel. Isn't that Ankarel like a huge dragon place?
This is clearly an ambush, and we are not falling for it.
It's better to be safe than sorry. I get it, Keyleth. I'm gonna pause. I get where Keyleth is coming from. I get it. Like, she has been watching this devastation happening. I'm pretty sure, like, Raishan's title is literally the Deceiver. Raishan the Deceiver, Raishan the Disease Deceiver, or something like that. But she's also, like, the first dragon that Keyleth, like, had this, not counting the blue dragon, the first dragon that Keyleth kind of had, like, this almost personal encounter with, like, back in the Blue Dragon's Cave, back in Brimscythe's Cave, the David Tennant Dragon's Cave. She found, like, this weird stone that had its voice like, intruders, and just that alerted Brimscythe to everybody's presence. Then later on, Raishan recognized her. So it kind of feels like there's something more personal going on there, even if they haven't, like, really had a super in-depth meeting. Like, it just there's something there that just feels a little bit more personal between Keyleth and Raishan. Even if it's just that, it just feels a little bit more personal between them. So Raishan is giving them some actual, like, warnings. I feel like they need to at least investigate these claims before just dismissing her. 'Cause, yeah, like, this is genuinely dangerous. Why would one of the dragons be here alone? Like, I feel like, why would they have come here, like, in disguise if they could have just, like, come here and devastated everything? Like, that's another thing. Why would the dragons, like, care for this subterfuge? They are ancient dragons. They could overpower an entire city. Like, they would need, like, tons and tons of high-level people to be taken out, or if they need, like, the extra help, like, then, like, there were 4 of them, now there's 3, but they could all help each other out. But at the same time, Thordak did say something about like Raishan having a super important mission. But they don't know that yet. I'm so curious how this is working out. And we saw in the intro that Raishan's saying the truth. Like, Thordak has a whole clutch of eggs that he considers to become gods one day. Like, there is... Like, even if, like, you shouldn't trust Raishan, at least investigate her claims, is how I feel. I get where Keyleth is coming from. Keyleth has seen this devastation. I've already said that. But also, don't dismiss it so quickly.
No, don't let her do it.
She's gone. I need to at least investigate.
Well, then say something only the real keeper Yenin.
What would you know that she would be the only one who knows?
Sometimes you wear a crown and call yourself Grand Poobah the Mayonnaise.
Oh. How does she know that? How does she know that?
Again. Knock, knock, Thordak. Acid.
She shoots poison?
Yep, there is a difference.
Knock, knock, Thordak. Poison.
They can both fly. So romantic.
We all going out the window?
Are we all going out the window? Just take a leap. Why not?
Idea of working with that monster after what she did to my people
I know.
That is true.
and the rest of the team.
That's right.
Feels like my
It wasn't. I completely missed. Like, she infiltrated the Ashari. Like, it may not have been. What's her place? Zephyra. It may not have been Zephyra, but was still an Ashari city or an Ashari home. I'm gonna say city until I'm corrected otherwise. Like, in order to free Thordak, and it created that huge devastation. We didn't see like the full extent of what happened. We did see like a lot of it was still okay. It's just that opened the rift to the fire plane, and now there's even more danger. I'm kind of curious because like at first when we saw Pyra before, it didn't seem like they knew that Thordak had escaped through there until like Allura said something about it. It didn't seem like they knew about the. I could be wrong. I could have like completely missed something, but it didn't seem like they knew about that until Vox Machina came here, and they didn't know that's what caused it. Except maybe they. I'm kind of confused myself. It is more personal for Keyleth, so yeah, Ashari. That's what I meant to say. Like, I was wondering, like, it feels so much more personal for Keyleth. Why does it feel so much more personal? I was trying to justify it with, like, The Rock and Raishan be like, ooh, I've seen you. But it's more personal because Raishan did cause the devastation of Pyra, the Ashari. Fire Ashari, but still Keyleth's people. And Keyleth is also just self-doubting herself, and I feel... Oh, Keyleth... I know, like, way back when the game was first going on, Marisha got so much hate playing Keyleth. People didn't like Marisha, they did not like Keyleth. Like, she just got so much hate. But in the show, she is one of the most beloved characters. Like, I have watched other people's reactions to seasons 1 and 2. And seeing how much, like, Keyleth is everybody's favorite is, like, it shows, like, Keyleth was a great character. That's how I feel. Keyleth has always been a great character. Just people people playing D&D, you get a lot of people who are very rules lawyery, like, oh, well, like, you play the game like this, and why is she playing it like this other way? Like, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. Keyleth has always been a great character. And like Marisha has always played true to that character. And she does a great job at it. Like, I feel like Keyleth is great. Genuinely. But that just kind of feels like, it just feels like, oh, it feels like my opinions don't count. It kind of makes me think of like the whole, like, all that hate and awfulness that Marisha used to get playing Keyleth, and the way people used to just hate on Keyleth all the time. Like, Kayla's opinions do matter among the team, but right now she feels like it doesn't, and I kind of wonder if that's coming from like a place with Marisha, like feeling like I just feel so much for her. I just feel so much for her. Oh, BB. Oh. Yes! Oh my gosh, yes! Oh. And the worst time for a vision. Oh, that vision though. Oh.
I did this. I had us flee here. Raishan followed.
That's not your fault. How are you supposed to know? Look, I don't see this being Percy's fault, like, at all. How was he supposed to know, like, saving all these refugees from a dragon that's going to kill everybody and everything? How is he supposed to know that is going to allow this child who's secretly a dragon to infiltrate the city? He doesn't know that, like, it's secret. He doesn't know that one of these people is secretly a dragon. How is he supposed to know that? It's not your fault, Percy. Please. Listen to Vex. Listen to Vex. Oh, does he not like Trinket? What's your deal, buddy?
If they're real, we'd have an ally. And if they aren't,
Then we let our vestiges do the talking.
You're not ready for that part, though. Investigate Raishan's claims before agreeing to work with Raishan. That is a good way of doing things.
Good to be home.
Good to be home with all this.
Me and Grog will get up close and personal with our vestiges.
Vesticles.
Vesticles. He's just gonna keep calling them vesticles, isn't he?
Plan sounds aces. What could possibly go wrong?
Never say that! Never say what could possibly go wrong. Never. Yep. Do the thing, Grog. Do the thing. That is how it activates you. You're not ready for this, guys. Okay, you're doing the thing. Yeah, y'all still aren't ready for this. I'm glad that you're saving Vax, but you guys weren't ready for this! You're fighting 2 ancient dragons at once. Get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. This isn't just an ancient dragon in his lair. This is 2 ancient dragons protecting a nest. That shield is so much more powerful. Pike, 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 pike. How'd you escape? Raishan! This is gonna just be personal between Keyleth and Raishan the entire time. Everybody get intimate! Yep!
Now do you trust me?
Not trust, but believe. There's a fine line between trust and belief. Like, that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people like misconstrue like, oh, like everything you said was true. I trust you with like, okay, I believe that you weren't lying, and I believe that you are trying to help in this specific regard. Do I trust you? I trust that this specific instance, like, that was beneficial for us working together, but I don't trust you as a person. That's the difference. That is the key difference in like what I'm like feeling with when it comes to like, I've helped you and do you trust me? I trust this specific instance you were trying to do something beneficial to us and you. I don't trust you. I trust that maybe you'll continue to try and do something that could be beneficial to us and you. But I don't trust you as a person. There is a difference. Ankarel, continent Marquette! I was wrong about where Ankarel was. For some reason, I completely forgot that Ankarel was in Marquette. I just like, oh, Ankarel, that's dragony. Is that something to do with the Exandrian Dragonborn? No, I was thinking of Draconia. Very obvious name. But Ankarel, I do think, does have a dragon here. And there's Gilmore. This is the... This is where he's from. That's probably why there was a preview that was released a while back. I've seen the preview, like a little clip from this. That's probably where that clip is from, of them getting chased through the streets of Ank'Harel. Why did I forget that that's the name of the city?
No longer intriguing. If you need me, I'll be sipping a glass of Stossman down the street.
Stossman.
Hey,
I think I know about the Stossmans a little bit.
what other play do we have?
I don't know.
They were supposed to get the vestiges anyway. That's the thing.
Percy? That sounded like...
Anna? Ripley? Oh. Oh. Oh, that's brutal. Ripley was after the vestiges too. It's Ripley. And she's got the vestige. No. It's got her own bag of holding too. I was worried. I was a little bit more worried that in that scene that like the guards were gonna come in and like Percy would be like firing off his gun like in the direction. More guards were gonna come in, make the connection between the gunshots that they heard and Percy's gun. Be like, ah, that must be the same weapon that did all this. This works too. Property damage. That's a fun way to get arrested. Oh, that's... Oh, Percy. Oh, Percy. I know you shout at everyone to get down. Nobody's gonna get down unless they know what's going on. You don't just say, everybody get down, expect people to listen. That's the reason you don't do shootouts in crowded streets. I was gonna see if I could like read that before it left. Dr. Drangle's Spectacular Traveling Troupe. That's where his daughter is. His daughter's part of their troupe. Yeah, they're chasing after. They're gonna be pointing to. Oh, what is that? What is that cloak? Yeah, they're gonna get arrested for. They're gonna get blamed for this, I'm sure.
Spice?
Spice?
Sorry, what?
You spice? Spice it?
What?
Oh,
What?
I mean, sometime. No.
What is happening? What is happening?
Does she spice?
What? What is happening? Who? Why? What? What? I am so lost and
Dr.
confused.
Anna Ripley.
Why am I not surprised, Percival?
I knew it was her.
And I may let you live.
Which one?
I knew that was a vestige.
You've improved my old prototype.
Her prototype? Oh, that's right. He found that box that had her version of his gun. Except, oh, I am so like, my brain is trying to like make all these connections that probably mean nothing. I'm just like so, not even, but just, I don't know where my brain is at right now. I'm just trying to follow this.
I'm never alone.
She's got Orthax, doesn't she? Oh. Orthax. Is that the end of the episode? In Memoriam Lance Reddick. Okay. So, that was a wild first episode. that was so much happening. They managed to get so much into that one episode. How long was that? 30 minutes? They managed to get that much into 30 minutes? It's less than 30 minutes. It feels like that was an hour. Maybe I was, like, I had to keep pausing and, like, going and doing stuff, so it felt like an hour. Ah, boy, that was so a lot. That was a lot. Oh boy. Oh. So, Raishan, Thordak, the eggs, vestiges, Ripley. Holy crap. That is so much. Really love this episode. I'm so glad this show is back. I'm gonna be like hard pressed to like stick to like trying to find time to record and react rather than just trying to watch this on my own. Cause oh boy, this is such a good show. I have been enjoying this show for a long time. Oh boy, I really love that little moment with Vex and Keela. Not Vex, Vax and Keela. I'm getting Vex and Vax mixed up now. Oh boy, he's Vax, she's Vex. But Vax and Keela had that sweet little moment in the tree, and I just really felt for that. The whole like trying to outrun the dragons. Raishan is so intriguing to me as a character. Super not trustworthy, but also like the enemy of my enemy sort of thing going on. And Keelah is fully justified for feeling how she feels as well. Like, she does not trust Raishan. She wants there to be a better option because of everything Raishan has done. Raishan is literally called the Deceiver, I'm pretty sure. Like, you've got Thordak the Simber King, Umbrasyl the Hope Devourer. I don't know what Voragil's title is, but I'm pretty sure that Raishan is the Deceiver, or the Disease Deceiver, or something along those lines. If somebody could tell me what Voragil's title is, or correct me on Raishan's, please let me know. Even, like, Brimscythe had a title like the Storm of something. The Iron Storm, maybe it was? I could be wrong. But, like, the dragon, like, they tried to go up against 2 dragons with the vestiges, and they're, like, I don't know what level they are at this point. It's like level 12, 13, maybe a little higher. They're not ready for that. They are totally not ready for that. Oh boy. And then, I'm very curious what the whole spice bit was. Like, that just came out of nowhere and just left on that note. Just, okay, that happened. I don't know why I'm bringing that up in the middle of, like, me trying to, like, get my thoughts in order, but it's there. Just, I'm wondering why they left on that. Like, they didn't give us, like, even a moment of Scanlan walking in and being confused or reacting. They just gave us, like, huh, that guy's weird. Okay, whatever. Let's move on to Percy confronting Ripley and Orthax out of nowhere. Maybe not out of nowhere. Maybe Orthax has always been with Ripley. Maybe Orthax was making Percy think, like, oh, I'm gonna help you kill Ripley, but was also helping Ripley. Demons, they do what they like, you know? Demons are doing whatever's beneficial to them. Oh boy, my brain. Overall, I just really loved this episode, though. There's so much just going on. There was so much. We're in Marquette, we're in Ank'Harel, and which apparently is ruled by the Emperex, Jaman Saord. I could be pronouncing it incorrectly. I hope I'm not. Gilmore's from Marquette. I should have known this. I feel like there's like a lot of stuff that like I kind of knew, but like that didn't really absorb into my consciousness. It was just like, oh yeah, Ank'Harel is that city. Oh yeah, Jaman Saord. Oh yeah, Gilmore's from Marquette. Like, I should know this stuff, and it's just out of my brain. I'm very curious what the vestige that Ripley has is, though, with the cloak. Because that cloak is so cool. I want that. Like, I would love a cloak like that. Just in real life, I would totally love that. Ah, boy, I am so curious, like, how this compares to the original campaign. I kind of don't want to go and watch the original campaign until I'm finished with this show, so I can, like, do the comparison myself. Like, I might, like, watch, like, the events that happened in Season 2, but I also know that that's going to be very different. Maybe there's some stuff from, that happens later on that was brought into Season 2, and some stuff that happens earlier in the campaign that's brought into Season 3. I don't know. I don't know how this is all going to work together. I am just so... Holy shit. Okay. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave this off here. I am at a loss for words. I am so excited to see what happens next. I am so excited. Oh, I know I mentioned Stossman's. I don't know if that's gonna be included in the full reaction or the like in the reaction on YouTube, or if I'm just gonna be like, oh, that was a thing on Patreon or something. But like they did mention the Stossmans once or twice. That is an alcohol company. I don't know if it's wine or beer specifically, but I know that they were mentioned in campaign 2. I know that I think Bo did something to them. Love Bo. And Marisha's characters are always my favorites. It's something I'm finding, and Talison's characters as well. Taliesin and Marisha's characters, the best. Oh yeah, oh boy. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave this one off here, guys. So if you enjoyed, please do remember to leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please do consider checking out my Patreon, because I will be uploading the full uncut reaction. It's gonna be well over an hour, it looks like, but you know, it happens. If you want to suggest anything for me to watch at some point, please let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe out there, everybody. Once again, I want to give a huge shout out to all my patrons this month. Roach, Art Cryptid, Brambles, The Horror Hive, Julia Egan, and Saffronique. Your support really helps me out a lot. It really means so much, and you guys are all amazing. Thank you all.